Welcome back to the second episode of Momo's School for Scripting Good. Today we're gonna have a small lesson. We're just gonna go over particle effects and how to use the /particle command. /particle command isn't really something you're gonna use much in scripting, but it's a nice little way to familiarize yourself with particles. The particle list that I normally use is this one over at mythicmobs.net. I'll post it in the video description. It just has like names, a small description, and a little photograph. Things that are important to know. The bubble particle only works when you're in water, and a lot of these particles don't work with /particle, even though they will work with EffectLib, which is what we're going to be using later. Now, how you can demonstrate these quickly in game. I'm gonna type /particle. As you can see, it already tells you how to use it. Well, we're going to do /particle. We're gonna do the flame. XYZ is the position. For people who are a little bit more familiar with Minecraft will know that if we want to use relative position, then we use the tilde. For example, tilde 1 would be one block in front of me, but we want it to just spawn out of ourselves, so we'll just use a tilde. That's also tilde. The XD, YD, and ZD is the spread of different particles. So let's say I'm making 100 particles, then that value is how much they want to be spread out. So let's say I'm doing a spread of 3 in all directions. The speed, let's put speed on 0 for now. And then the optional one over at count is, let's go with 100 for now. There we go. Now you can see the flame particles materialize around us. And this is just a way for you to see how particles work in the world. Now let's say we want to do, for example, heart. Of course, we're going to make it spawn on our location, so we need to add the 3 tildes again. I'm going to make a large field. Gonna add a little speed to it, and we're gonna make 10,000. 10,000 obviously not enough. We need more. Oh, there we go. You can already see this is a lot of particles, so your client doesn't really like doing this. What you can also see is that the speed didn't really do much. Well, that's because not all particles can be sped up. I don't know the full logic of what can be sped up, but I just know that, for example, flame can be. So if you ever want particles to have speed, just try out which ones work and which ones don't. Boom. You can clearly see that now the flame particles are moving around. So that's a little way for you to demonstrate some particles in game. Just a good way to start figuring out how, like, what particles you have available, how to visualize them in game, and that different particles behave differently. One thing that's going to be very important here, and that I'm also going to probably repeat later on, there's a particle color option in your spells, and that only works with spell mob and redstone. Those are the only 2 particles that can be recolored. So don't go, for example, oh, I want to use the I'm not sure if I can spawn water break with this command. Can't spawn it. Let's say I want to do water droplets, but make them red, for example. That's not something I can do, because spell mob and redstone are the only 2 particles that can be recolored. So that's your basic on particle effects. Like I said, just use this site here to figure out the particle names, because you're going to be using these particles a lot in your EffectLib spells, which you're going to end up making a lot of. That's really all I have to say for the basis of particles. So on to lesson number 3.